Box to box inventory.
Steven Gerrard.
Deeping it. Goal front three is deeping it.
Jamie Carragher.
That's
150 more carries. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah.
Whole bunch of average plans. But anyway, moving on. The goal front three ends with exactly 600 points. The box to box ends with 547. Close, gentlemen. All right. The next topic in the next five-a-side is the most amount of clubs played at. All right. So we're looking at journeyman here. And the first player is, first team is Dortmund. No way.
We'll go for a mid. Andre Schürrle. Question.
Yeah.
So we've done our striker now. Can we put like other strikers in like others?
And the first player is, first team, the next five-a-side is most amount of clubs played at. All right, so we're looking at journeyman here. And the first player is, first team is Dortmund. I'll count it. As long as if you guys an appearance, fair up.
Yeah. Something. No way. We'll go for a mid. Andre Schürrle. Question.
Yeah.
So we've done our striker now. Can we put like other strikers in like other centre back?
That would be like they played up. Like that's the right position.
Play the manager.
Yeah, I know. I forgot that. So go front three with the ball 11 teams played out. Schürrle for box to box 17. So it's still close, gentlemen. The next team is no goalkeepers, right? No goalkeepers.
What's the policy on releasing goals that have been set up? David Luiz. Joel Campbell.
The next team up is Juventus.
Ibra. Same shit, right?
Barcelona.
Milan. I'm not fucking sick. LA Galaxy. Man United.
No.
Never played at Milan.
Just like Portugal cuts the lead by 1. The next team is
Bobby and Taylor again. Yeah,
the word is for the midfielder and stuff. It looks like both teams are still speaking to each other, but gentlemen, we're going to need to put a timer of 10 seconds.
I mean, I think we got our. You guys have your.
Yeah, my guy played the company correct? Florian Silva. Really good one.
No, he's everywhere, even in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm glad I told you that.
Alexis Sanchez. Yeah. That's what I'm Mexico.
Sounds good. Cool. Pleasure here.
I don't know.
We were gonna go the entire time. We were going to. We were gonna go.
You guys just gave me the Slovene Udinese, play with Alexis Sanchez and Udinese, and he played every year.
But Alex, you said,
We were just, yeah,
We were gonna go Kondogbia.
yeah, that was
All right, boys, we're down to the final team. The score as it stands, goal front 3, 39, box to box 34. We are going to need absolutely.
Give us the smallest city guys in the
I wish I was playing goals out of the team. But the team is, the final team is Chelsea. We're ready. So, we're going Alex to defend the Chelsea. Let's see Chelsea. Why don't we double check it? I don't know. Let's do it, boys.
we're gonna lock in because we need like basically a double digit one. And I know this guy was at Chelsea for a long time. He's sent out on loan like every season. Thomas Salah. Middleborough played at the other. But no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many clubs he played at.
600 got 5 for that one.
We can actually get we need what 10 to tie.
The tie, but you need 11 to win. So last bet to 800.
Know your club. Know your club. I love my club.
Box to box, unfortunately, losing this one.
Disaster
To go front three.
Hey, Jen, like next time, we're gonna meet in the middle, maybe.
Me in the middle, or you come to Canada.
Next time, what I want.
We get the silver.
No.
You just get 1 inch of snow and it's the end of the world.
Winter Wonderland. And we still win.
Yeah. The way you see the names down, coming down the list. Thank you to our patrons, you guys that supported us from day one. Absolutely fantastic work. We'll see you guys next week.
We're gonna get them back on their channel.
Arsenal versus Wolves, a game where I should have sat down for 90 minutes and it's good. Like beating the leading class out of winning 2 points. Before this game started, I had a bad feeling. But people, they only have 2 points. They hadn't scored in so many games. They are Wolves. People were gone. I had a bad feeling for the right reasons. Anyway, people voted Arsenal, as you can see right here. I was happy this man started by this false conversion. He only scored against the false and as you move through their lineup, a deeper AI generation lineup, even the footballers that watch football 24/7 can interact with these guys. Anyways, the game started off as one could expect. Arsenal were dominating in the opening minutes of this game. Saka was going at his defender, he was crossing it, and we were doing it all fine. But with all the possession, all the passing, leading up to the first half, Wolves came in with big around football. All they were doing was sitting back and just waiting for the counter attack. And to be fair to them, they had a chance to score in the first half. They had more shots on target than we did in 45 minutes. Translation in real time. That is 3 hours of football. We had majority of the possession, completed 342 passes, and big part was just to get fewer shots on target than a relegation rule. Let that sink in. The relegation rule. The second half is started and it was the same shit. Arsenal having 90% of the ball, barely attacking, Wolves sitting back, but thankfully, before I can lose my mind, Arsenal scored to an own goal from Sam Johnson. He FC. Give me a corner or I will try. I don't know where we will be without corners right now. Now after that, the most big watchers probably came out of the game. Even the lone watchers, like me, were like, man, this is over. Ain't no way Wolves gonna do a comeback against the best defensive team in the world. No way, Jose. I met this dude out. And for a while, everything was okay. Until this teenager came on in the 90th minute. Man, now when I first saw him come on, I was like, they emptying out the bench. They emptying out the bench. They're giving kids their debut. This shit is over. But then this teammate with an assist in the 90th minute to make the game 1-1. My heart dropped. Drama. He does. I remember Southampton 3-3, and this was the same thing. I was going through mental psychosis. I don't even know what the hell that means, but it sounds like something I might have gone through my Arsenal fandom. When I saw that goal, I literally could not believe. Before I could read it freak out, before I could have a generational crackdown, that's how we put in the delicious squad, and the own goal to make the game 2-1. So you're telling me the number one team in this league needed goals, a relegation league, for 3 goals to win? They better win this stupid ass league. Arteta, we better win this stupid ass league. And with that own goal, the game will end 2-1 to Arsenal, keeping them top of the table. Before we get into how let's hear from our sponsors. Do you have a bad touch? Do you lack movement inside the box? Are you shit in front of goal? Well, if you say yes to everything, we have something water for you. A product that will increase your productivity and skill. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce you to Fixing Your Fluoride Free. A product that promises to increase your football fitness. Have a bad touch, but with this product, you have a worse touch. No movement inside the box. Congratulations. With this product,
You'll be feeling a pretty snail inside the box. Can't score goals with this product. I promise you, you will never ever feel gold. So head down to your local store and yo, please, man. Please, yo, please. I'm begging you, man. Just give me that. I don't care if you sound like a word for those human cash. I don't care if you had to. We need that Grand fancy access to this game. 14 says no refund. This is the last time I'm buying from that format league. I promise you, this is the last time my team buys from that format league. Victor Yokeres and then Nuno Tavares. I'm done with that league. I can't believe Yokeres dumped his girlfriend for this, man. A grown-ass man dumping his girlfriend to play alongside Martinelli. Martinelli, bro. Only Victor Yokeres. 2 own goals. One is probably the most famous shit I've ever experienced in my life as a dreamer.
A winnable and a win is a win. I don't care what y'all say, but a win is a win.
Is handshakes and Bible verses. All right, next thing we need to talk about is my dog rival, the team that I am embarrassed to be my club's rival. Now I know Thomas versus I think a Victor versus a biker. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Thomas Frank looks like a biker, and Tom Banks looks like a biker. And all not in the sport. The first goal, Bakari would make a stupid mistake for Hudson are going to score. What happened with that? What happened with that? He was so good in the now he's absolutely trash. Then it straight out of the halftime. You score a big goal. I don't know what to blame Vicario or this is just a fluky ass goal. But what I do know is that there's no fluke line of for it. This is an unstoppable goal from Kagari. And just like that, Tottenham will lose the game at 0. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new segment called The Tottenham Have More Than One XG. All right, let's see here, and it's a no. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Join me next week to see if they do got more than one XG. I'll see y'all next week. Let's see how their fans react to this game. Big win for us today. Palace away could have been a real banana skin. By the way, that's a Tottenham fan talking about a Man City game. This is the type of cookery I had to go through, bro. How can your team lose 3-0 away at Nottingham Forest and the first thing you tweet is this? This is the most disgusting, shameless thing I've ever seen in my life. We won the European League and hired Brentford managers the last emoji. The revision of things in Tottenham fans is disgusting. Majority of Tottenham fans wanted and out. They wanted and out. Now with British fans. I have never disliked a manager more at Tottenham than I have with Thomas Frank. Hold on. Thomas Frank is this positive merchant, right? He's a hippie merchant. Everyone before he got hired at Tottenham, everyone was Team Thomas Frank. Right? The United fans walking like this club. All the fans were saying, hey, let's go get Thomas Frank and go get fired. Now all of a sudden everyone hates it. All right, now let's go through these other pictures. Liverpool beat Brighton at home. If is the truth, this is him. So he's better than you?
Yeah.
And stacks more paper and gets more holes than you, nigga. Man City also beat Crystal Palace away. Let me say that again. Man City beat Crystal Palace away. They're bogey team, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Foden and I told you, he hit Arsenal. These guys are playing out of their mind. I already know Foden hates them, but as for Haaland, I don't know why he hates them. And of course, we need to settle for them. We love you. Yep, that's a fact. I had to do it. And then another little fact says City are going to win the next 4 leagues that continue the usual of letting up everyone in 2030. Like good boys. Hashtag is 64. Plus, you can't wait for to win this league. And I can't wait. Speaking about team faces, Unai Emery. They're on a 9-game winning streak. Let me say that again. 9-game winning streak. And guess who the next team is? It's against United. I need United to do something. United, I need you to do something next season. I need you. Chelsea also won against Everton. Finally, they won a game. Cole Palmer is back after 9 years and already outscored the Birds this season. Anyways, guys, that's all I got. Please like, subscribe, and I'm going to leave you guys with this script. Our story takes us all the way back to June 28th. The United 26 bid, consisting of the United States, Canada, and Mexico, won rights to host the World Cup in 2026. However, the bid settled for a big 300-centric, with them planning to host about 5% games, which, as a result, made most people kind of forget the fact that part of this scale. And was the FIFA president himself, Gianni Infantino, who quickly made it goal to be the right with every. Just a couple months after the United 26's Infantino met with the Trump for the first time ever and gifted him a personalized jersey. For our fellow many bold figures declaring how good workers, his were quickly that unfairly and unfairly dishes out to all. Gianni would now be forced to work and out with Joe Biden, a fate worse than that of a Michael Ford.
America's a nation to be defined in a single word.
I mean, how could you possibly build a meaningful connection with Fred? That airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. Really use the wish right now. Fortunately for Gianni, though, wishes are not needed when it comes to the American Democratic Party, who decided during the 2024 presidential election that many themselves are important than such irrelevant issues like affordability. And so, on the night issues and issues, or midday of November 6th, if you were in Kagoshima, Japan, Gianni would learn that his relationship with Donald Trump was began. On the day of Donald Trump's inauguration in January 2025, Gianni was finally reunited with Donald and vowed to never lose again. Just 2 months later, Gianni revealed a brand new trophy of a tournament that very nicely aligns with the Trump administration's efforts of union justice. And during the tournament itself, when Juventus became the first non-championship team to ever be invited to the White House for reasons that no one truly knows to this day, our very bald, working Qatari showed his true admiration for Donald Trump by mixing down with his we can talk about Iran in front of Venezuela. That's when they target the same city that hosted the event for the US's iconic 1994 World Cup. It was a nice 2015, a reminder of how far the US had come in the football world. But of course, to Gianni, his Pookie Bear always comes first. And the moment the Trump administration suggested the Kennedy Center in D.C., Infantino immediately and changed the venue. Then later in the year, the President of the United States expressed interest in relocating some of the host cities because of safety concerns. The same could be said about the going anywhere to a middle school, but I digress. Listen, relocating the cities this late into the tournaments is not a good idea for like multiple different reasons. First, a good amount of the tickets have already been sold. In fact, Trump even mentioned the fact that a lot of games have been sold out. And on top of all of this, fans who have bought tickets are probably going to have to throw out things like hotel flights. They kind of need to get that stuff in advance because it's only going to get more expensive. And the longer the administration continues to quote these games, the more this becomes a for everyone. Not only that, these cities were picked after a long process of evaluating available venues, and if the city itself doesn't have infrastructure, these venues and things for a reason, and changing that to something less than the requirement. With all this said, Gianni needs to act quick, and he definitely did, by giving exactly what he wanted. Now, if you thought that was egregious, oh boy. On February 24, 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and 4 days later, after pressure from other federations, FIFA banned the Russian FA from participating in any sanctioned event. On October 27, 2023, Israel began its invasion of the Gaza Strip, and after pressure from the Palestinians in April of the year, FIFA did not ban Israel from participating in any sanctioned event. Palestine eventually attacked FIFA this year to demand its ban, and all I can say is, no, consider like, okay, 7,000 civilians have been victims of war crimes, and your country is also suffering a family because of illegal blockades. But did you even think about Gianni's love life in any of this? You heartless people. During our gay, bold, ginger, migrant Johnny's pursuit for his own happiness, he was constantly being bombarded by all of these unnecessary and selfish demands from the public. Ban Israel this, ban Israel that. You're just as responsible for the genocide. Yada. Unfortunately, Mr. Infantino has a strong vote, and he would never submit to any of this. Out of the kindness of his warm heart, Johnny showed his affection towards Trump by claiming peace cannot solve geopolitical conflict, even though he himself banned Russia just a few years ago. Oh my God. I can look at Walmart think about how much he's thinking about Trump more than his own interests of his own organization. It's so weird. And finally, just like the romantic movies and shows that make you want to kill Donald Trump finally paid attention to all these active services and invited Johnny to the Gaza Peace Conference. Even though this guy had literally a couple weeks ago that he couldn't do shit. Why the fuck are you agreeing to pretend they would share that little knowledge of intimacy? We've all so you have no idea how much we all you. Oh, yeah. Around that. Instead, it went to this random ass woman with the last couple of decades of the peaceful time of the people of Venezuela. So has been a victim of multiple attacks from all powerful opposition. I know, right? Fucking stupid. Just invade the country. I mean, nothing says peaceful more than bringing 100,000 troops to a country without knowing if they'll actually survive or not. What about the Gaza peace? That was almost impossible. But now, we're moving half forward. It's that ceasefire. More than 360 people lost their lives. Tell me yourself. I think just at this point, it is the president in peace. Now, find a way violated different outcomes. Whatever that action campaign. Because thankfully our game-bold Italian Qatari migrants had played forward discuss all those years ago and mangled the committee beyond recognition. And also, how dare the media try and reveal the winner of this award? This is supposed to be the surprise for his beloved spooky though. Gianni is a and when they did this paper coming out, it was not the award that was shown the world of Donald Trump is the real piece of the Celtics club. The world of Trump. Where the majority of the world finally even decided to walk the whole circle up to make a risk hit for an hour and a half. Bestowed upon the States of America. We all have to witness Gianni Infantino do this own system before Spain was finally placed in a group an hour and a half into the show. Also, look at this trophy. You can tell this award was actually created a day after the Nobel was opened. Because what is that? Oh my God, the world's so great. Oh my God, without you, the world would be chaos. And you wait until after the shows who open his fly with your mouth. Holy fucking shit. The first recipient of the Peace of Peace Award is a member of the LGBTQ club. Again, look at that. He also revealed his group. He turned into a beautiful fucking absolutely no one asked for. This is why I can't stand Western media. Because this was textbook blatant force. And yet, no one, the definition of government is that they all
their worker rights issues. That's what but why not the U.S.? Sure, they may not have had literal slaves working on their infrastructure, and sure, but the U.S. government is actively going after slaves. I even go as far as to say they've been trying to erase them, basically. And how about all those deportations out the way? Well, back in May, the Trump administration decided to set a quota of 3,000 deportations every single day. Because of this, it's not only just the criminal of the it's also been going after people. And this is caused many communities on the highway are being deported. Someone actively communicated the ship. Back in my home Charlotte, there were over 27,000 applicants in a single week at the Charlotte Mecklenburg school when ICE decided to put this on the agenda. That was triple the numbers of cases. The only thing that makes ICE not a literal Gestapo is the fact that they're not allowed into someone's house without a warrant. That's it. So let me introduce you guys to a new series on the channel that I'd like to call Will the United States be a World Cup host? Spoiler alert. Just remember the video I made about the top. You know, you're going to and if anything happens very concerning, which I will show on every single aspect of this world. That way, we will always of what it is. I mean, it's only fair for so much. I do this to the Israeli, but whether it is or the actual organizations and stuff, I'm going to try and recover it as much as I can. The next video, we're going to take a 5 minutes. Alright guys, welcome to the first installment of Sleepy Sundays on the second channel. Yes, this series, All Knowledge to Fall Asleep To, is moving to the second channel because it's kind of produced on the channel. And in today's episode, the first episode on this channel, we are going to be deep diving into the 2000s, into football nostalgia, and giving you all the best moments from the main channel in one video. So hopefully you guys can enjoy this video to its full extent. And also, you know, if you can, timestamp the exact minute we spent. I don't know how that's going to work, but go on your phone after you fall asleep to this, and then get the number, put it in the comments. Actually, don't even comment. These videos get no comments, they get no views. They're just compilations. The 2000s. The baggy kit, the freedom of choosing how you want to play the game, the art of a pure slide tackle, but the man, and a bit of the fool. Now look at this, and I've always loved the 2000 era of football, but it's a shame because like many of you watching this video, I didn't really experience this firsthand. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a 20s tennis merchant, a connoisseur. Do you ask me anything about the football era from the 2010s, and I'll be able to tell you. I'll start bringing up some random players from the 2010s era, like Raul Morales from Chelsea. Well done now, the 2000s were a golden era for football. The amount of top players that were active was literal insanity. Back in the 2000s, it was like every single team in each league had a one player that could just flip the 90 minutes on its head. The oversized kits that the players were wearing, the lack of inflation in the transfer market, with only the best having a significant transfer fee. When Ronaldo joined Barcelona from PSG for a measly 32 million euros. Right now, that gives you probably Reece Nelson and a bag of chips. There was no room for faded haircuts, no dominance on which league had the best quality, and your favorite players would have no restricted placement limit during games. Meaning that yes, at least once a game, a player would go on a marauding run, taking on most players. The aesthetic of football in the 2000s was just purely magical. During these years, players played with pure passion and let it all out in the pitch. And nowadays, unless it's international football, No one's really playing like this anymore. Remember when players would just let it go and take shots from outside the box and see people off guard? Now, sports science has been brought into the game. And players are not taking shots from outside the 18-yard box. And why? Well, because the odds of the shot going in is too low. So players are discouraged from actually expressing themselves and shooting whenever they'd like. We only tend to see football being played in the modern era with freedom in international competition. That's because the managers that they have in the international level are not banging on about all these little tactics because they only work with them for a few months a year. Football today is way too predictable, with most teams all playing it safe, moving the ball into the wings and trying to get as many balls into the box. The element of surprise, in my opinion, is completely gone from domestic football. Well,
what can we do here?
Social media. I personally think defenders individually doing this stuff is not better than defenders today. However, defensive systems, and that's why defenses have got Adam has drawn famous for to manage some tactics to make the defense less human, to make attackers more fearful, and to therefore concede less goals. More than a sport. Which tells you that the biggest transfer in the history of football is going to happen 6 months before it even happens. 12 players that were Ballon d'Or level playing in the World Cup. Guys who have previously won the award will win the award in their careers. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Ron Hines, Gonzalo,
The other.
Zidane, Michael Owen, Figo, and Nedved. You couldn't question the quality that was on show during the 2000s. Hundreds of players can be named that dominated during these times. And I think the guys that grew up in this era are the ones that are disappointed with what football has become right now. But even from a third person's perspective, the 2000s era of football is felt and looked more like football. The 2000s were a time of one size fits all, with all players being able to fit into the team. By tactics for their tight tailored kit. I think the 2000s were not only blessed from the greatest of all time, but they also had some of the best sides of all time. Sides of the 2000s witnessed the renaissance of AC Milan, the dream side of Real Madrid Galacticos, an invincible Arsenal side, an immortal Chelsea, and United at half of the early flair of Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm sending this local lad. More than a part of it is actually what is the best of the country? The rise of iconic. I mean, you're looking at a whole scandal. Relegated and despite this happening, still remain competitive. Everyone else kind of stepped up. Right, the league has But he started off at Genoa. He was also a baller there too. Even Enrico Chiesa, the father of the Juventus coach, I mean, probably picked up pace during his time too. Francesco did. So, you know, Francesco thinking,
Oh my days.
and to answer the question in the title of the video, I did start that. Because that was football never leave. Football is zero. And although many people call it the golden era, I think it's time to start looking forward to the era that we are currently in today. But as for the trick, let's start with people and fire levels. And in this game, you know, really was a line people didn't even say that, which is it was still Real Madrid with fire levels. The game tied at 1-1. There was only one man that will rise to the occasion and make his save. It's Roberto Carlos, who was far down the left-hand side of the pitch, was putting a lofted ball into the edge of 18 yards. And there it was through. This moment of sheer really with the 9 European Cup and remains best executed goal. Without on the pitch that day, we would have never scored this goal. Now from one move from the legend to another, we have put online Ronaldo scored World Cup. Actually, because despite the injuries of the big Ronaldo Rosario was still the goal. This was the guy widely acclaimed as the best footballer on planet Earth on his day. So of course the coach of the let this possible take away without winning something. Don't just score twice, but you wouldn't want to have to pay your rapid with the acceleration was he was a rare fight like that. Now for one glory of Old Trafford, the David Beckham was praised, raised. Yes, David Beckham now back in 2001, England Greece in their final World Cup qualified. Wales to qualify for the 2000. And with the team struggling to time running out, it was David Beckham that stepped up immediately. In this way, he really took matters into his own. Artistic thinking, driving forward, winning fouls, and creating chances. But it was his stoppage time where his moment was truly up to fruition. As England prepared themselves on 3 time to pick them down. And honestly, watching it back, it looked virtually impossible. 3 kicks of right up the world now. Nobody really thought what would happen. David Beckham under pressure, stepped up. And with the Rover just getting more. David Beckham held the ball. This was a forward group. Thanks to the ball. encounters that what did it all go down to? A moment of magic. You have to put it first. This kind of it's a close opportunity. He made his debut back in 19. Slowly over the years, he would get better and better with the 2005/6 being first appearance with the Celtic Championship with his performance against Arsenal. But it, you know, a fixture. Times where, you know, they took off. And for one part, I have to talk about Apple beyond too. Joining Arsenal was now, the Arsenal showcased them early on for this goal. And he would ride the bench for years, sitting below. And wait. The 2011/2012 able to showcase his pure ability and show the hospitality what hadn't seen since the what ability ready number one. But during the span of his career, including a horrific ankle sprain back in 2008, they, like the bench and so many. Now, Claude Makelele was no force. He was a French general who, like many Frenchmen in the past, revolutionized the defensive midfielder position, doing himself build the defense was unparalleled, meaning that nobody during his time could come close to his brilliant. Makelele's time playing for Chelsea under Jose Mourinho was phenomenal. His side won 2 Premier League titles and established himself as a dominant English team. Makelele they wouldn't just down to their talent. They down to Makelele, who neutralized the attacks before they and it's also still good. Protecting the children simultaneously down the range of and the fact that they used to I put the Manchester United but they counted for the side and elsewhere. And this was a big deal because at the time there was a world record fee paid for a teenager. And this